welcome to the Sports Break here on RVNTV.tv. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and joining me on this Thursday to talk about the NBA is Jonathan Stroud. And we have to get into the divisions. The NBA is finally here. We're so excited.
Finally upon us. It's like Christmas morning. I'm excited.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The long-awaited moment that everyone has been waiting for. The NBA season is starting. So we're going to start off by talking about the Southeast Division. We're going to go division by division like we did with the NFL. Break down some teams, go through the rosters because there have been a ton of changes.
Oh, yeah.
So starting in the Southeast with the Miami Heat. No more Chris Bosh. We still have Goran Dragic, Udonis Haslem, Justice Winslow, Hassan Whiteside, and then players, not really, Derek Walton, Matt Williams, Kelly Olynyk.
Right.
Not any big name players, but some new players, new faces.
They still have old man Haslem on the team. Seems like he's been in the NBA forever now. You know, he's still hanging on though. But yeah, it's still not a lot of changes there. But oddly enough, I'm thinking Miami. Out of all the teams in this division, probably going to probably make the league, the largest league.
Oh, okay.
I'll hold that off probably toward the end, but yeah, I like what how Miami's kind of shaped going forward here, and the players with Goran Dragic. I think he's going to have a bounce back year, and some of the other players that they brought. Justice Winslow, we know he was kind of hurt last year. I think he's going to have a strong season this year as well. And then you have those other teams in there. You're talking about Charlotte and Washington, who's everybody's probably darling to repeat again as a division winner. But I'm not really impressed by them. I mean, once you get past, Bill and Wall and then Markieff Morris, I mean, it's like, what else do they have on that team?
Right,
so,
right.
Really not, expecting a whole lot from them this year.
Okay, well then let's talk about the Wizards. So the Washington Wizards have brought in Jody Meeks. They don't have Chip Berg, Brandon Jennings, Daniel Ochefu, who used to play for Villanova, is no longer with the Wizards. But you did mention they still have Gortat, they still have Bradley Beal, Chris McCullough, Markieff Morris, and John Wall. So they have pretty much the same team right there.
That sounds like a YMCA roster. Those names you just rattled off, Jody Meeks and Chris McCullough. And I mean, these sound like some teams I get together at the LA Fitness next week and play with. So that's what I mean. I don't really see too much going on there as far as not really any impact names.
Right.
As far as I can hear.
For the Wizards, I mean, we saw they made a far run in the postseason last year, but they really need to bring someone in. Someone big, not just Jody Meeks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they really, it's like a three-player team when you look at them. It's Bill, it's Wall, and then Markieff Morris. And, they still have the Gortat, still the big man down there, but they're pretty thin as far as their roster. And, they need to either make a trade or, I think they could have did more in free agency as far as the offseason is concerned. But I think just standing pat the way they did, they're going to probably take a hit for it this upcoming season.
Yeah, I will say I'm very surprised with all the changes that went on this offseason that Washington did not make more changes. I know I have some friends that are Wizards fans. I am not a Wizards fan. But, I respect them. They're a local team. They're a good team.
Right.
But I definitely think that last year when we saw them play against teams like the Celtics, you could see just how much they did not have depth.
Right,
and you talk about that. They're a three-man team. I mean, once they go to sub, there's a drop-off.
Yeah.
The level does not stay the same. They don't have guys. And you look at across the league now, a lot of teams are now 6, 7, 8, 9 players deep.
Yeah.
The Wizards, once you get past John Wall and Bradley Beal, really, from there it starts to drop off. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right. Let's be honest. I mean, Bradley Beal has not had a propensity to stay healthy throughout his career. So,
Exactly.
I mean, you got to bank on him staying healthy because if he's not there, then they're going to fall back even further. So that's why I'm kind of thinking Miami's going to be the leader of this division when it's all said and done. And I just think that the Wizards are going to take a step back. I mean, I like John Wall. I mean, he's a flashy player. He's dominant when he's on, but he's going to need some more help.
Yeah.
This year, I could see him probably screaming at management about getting me some help when it's going to be my prognostication for this season. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard when you have the same team, especially at any level. You have the same team year after year, you become very predictable.
Yeah.
So for the Wizards, they are very predictable now. You know what's going to happen. But we do have some other teams that have changed it up a little bit. Not nearly as much as some of the ones we're going to talk about in a few shows. But in Atlanta with the Hawks, so they still have DeAndre Bembry, Dennis Schroeder, who drives me crazy. But
what, with his hair?
Everything about the way he plays. He's a good personality to have on your team. He reminds me of like a Draymond Green type personality.
Yeah, he is one of those
great
players.
to frustrate other players. Right. And
you like him if you have him, but you can't stand him if he's on the other team.
Exactly, and I don't like him because he's not on my team. So then they brought in Miles Plumlee, Josh Magette. They got rid of Jose Calderon, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dwight Howard, Chris Humphries. Or should I say Chris Kardashian, Steph Losha, and Paul Millsap. Gotta do it. So they lost a lot of guys, but I don't think they lost, or what do you think with the guys that they lost? Does that help them, hurt them to lose a guy like Dwight Howard who can't stay healthy?
That helps. I mean, anytime you can get that personality off your team, I think that you're doing yourself a service.
Yeah.
He's just pretty much a cancer wherever he goes now. Dwight Howard, I'm not a fan of his, and I think it's going to help them. I think they're still going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff time. They're a team that looks like they're in the rebuild mode now. Dennis Schrader's probably going to be their best player going forward right now. So that's not saying much. I mean, because I think that he's like more of I think he's a starter, but on a real good team, he's probably your sixth man. So he's going to be your best player going into your season. That's not going to say a whole lot about your season going forward.
Yeah, truthfully, the way he plays, he's more of a spark player off the bench,
a
fifth, sixth man, a role player, not someone that you have to rely on to help win games.
Yeah.
And I do agree in that sense with the guys they lost, especially Dwight Howard. I'm actually not a fan of a lot of guys that were on the Hawks, but with Dwight Howard, he doesn't fit in today's NBA. He's just a big man. He can't do much outside the paint. He can't even do much in the paint. He has a lot of other issues that he runs into off the court with injuries and things. He is truly just a cancer.
I've never been a fan of Dwight Howard. I think his personality, it doesn't really fit or mesh with the NBA, and then, when you'll be a big man, 7 foot, like you got to be a little bit ruggedness to your game. Yeah. I mean, he just seems like he just wants to go to Disney World every time he's on the court.
Sounds about right.
I'm not a fan.
Yes. So when we get back from this break, we will talk about a couple more teams in the Southeast Division. The Hornets and the Magic, one of Dwight Howard's other former teams. So don't go too far. We'll be right back after this break.
Oh my God, that is gorgeous.
That is spectacular.
Beautiful. Wow, that is gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
That's got to be from Giorgio's.
That's got to be from Giorgio's.
He only shops at Giorgio's.
Visit us today in the Freehold Raceway Mall.
Why travel to Philadelphia or Atlantic City for memorable and diverse dining? Experience the unique style and ambiance of Napa Valley Wine Country right here in the heart of South Jersey. At Terra Nova Restaurant, it's casual yet sophisticated with contemporary American cuisine. Enjoy South Jersey's best sushi and raw bar, the freshest seafood, thick, delicious steaks, pastas, appetizers, and desserts. Our wine bar offers selections from virtually every major wine-producing region in the world. Choose from over 200 wines, with 50 available by the glass. Join us at Terra Nova for Wine Down Wednesdays with special half-price bottles of wine. Sit, sip, and enjoy. Our bar happy hour features sushi at half price. Every Friday night, it's live music and our pasta and wine Sundays. Spotlight 25 wines at $25. Terra Nova Restaurant has a wonderful Northern California decor with architectural touches exuding elegance and warmth. An excellent choice for private parties. Our rooms can accommodate 20 to 120 people. Choose the Napa Room, Sonoma Room, or the Monterey Room. Terra Nova Restaurant is perfect for friends to meet, and for added fun, enjoy our brand new wine and martini bar. Great food, great wine, great friends. It's Terra Nova Restaurant.
Apple Ridge is about freedom. Apple Ridge is about community. Apple Ridge is about home. Apple Ridge, everything you want, more than you expect. Welcome to your new neighborhood. Apple Ridge Senior Living. Enjoy a maintenance-free, affordable luxury lifestyle today. Visit appleridgeseniorliving.com and find out more about the Apple Ridge experience.
Hey everyone, my name is Adam Crispin and I'm the host of a new show called The Adam Crispin Show. Although I've been a veterinarian for almost 15 years now, our show is not just going to be about animals, including pets and wildlife and large animals and zoo animals. It's going to be about lifestyles and pop culture and working out and having a great time and just being a better person. So coming along, check me out this fall on RVN TV.
Welcome back to the Sports Break here on RVNTV.tv. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and joining me to break down the Southeast Division of the NBA is co-host Jonathan Stroud. So we talked about the Wizards, the Heat, the Hawks. Now we have to get into another H team, the Charlotte Hornets. And we did mention that Dwight Howard was moved from the Hawks, and the team he actually was moved to is the Hornets. So with their roster changes, they got rid of Miles Plumlee. They brought in Michael Carter-Williams, who has seemed like he's bounced around from team to team since he left the Sixers.
How many teams he going to go?
Malik Monk, Marcus Page, Dwight Howard, and they still have players like Frank Kaminsky, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Kemba Walker, and Nicholas Batum.
Frank the Tank. They like
Yes.
Hey, Charlotte, they have some solid pieces in place there. Michael Jordan, he's been a questionable owner and a GM in the past. And I'm still questioning this Dwight Howard move because I kind of, on one hand, I see it because they really lacking that interior presence. But on the other hand, we've already talked about Dwight Howard and what he can do for your team. So, Kemba Walker is a stud, and I think he's going to continue to lead this team. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, local kid, I think that if he can stay healthy, he can add another element as far as defense and that intangible game for the Hornets. Frank Kaminsky, still kind of one of those guys that can stretch the floor for you. So. Yeah. I think this team's going to be like one of those middle of the pack and probably be fighting for a playoff spot all year long as long as they get that chemistry going. But I like some of the pieces the Hornets have.
Yeah, and also in looking at these guys and where their backgrounds of the colleges they've come from, their history to now, they have players that were big name players at their colleges, whether it was Kentucky or Wisconsin or wherever. Right. And as we know, not everyone comes straight into the NBA and makes an impact right away. Some players need some more time to develop. Those players that maybe go to a lower level team, so they don't have those top veterans around them, like if you're on the Cavs or the Warriors. Yeah. So they have to kind of be the ones that are going to end up leading the franchise. So a Kemba Walker, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, even Frank Kaminsky, those guys, and now you bring in Michael Carter-Williams, who we don't know how he's going to do. He's been from team to team. But these are guys that maybe now will start, now that they have a few years under their belt, start to develop and be top players and know how to actually lead a franchise.
I mean, the one concern, though, is that if you think Dwight Howard, you bring him in for veteran leadership, then I don't know if that's going to either make this thing kind of explode and go off the track or, keep it together. So, I mean, he's not the best locker room guy as far as bringing it in. So, I mean, that's the one concern you have to have if you're a Hornets fan. But you just have to hope that Kemba Walker continues to progress and take the next step. I mean, he was already an All-Star this past year, so I think that he's still on track and he's going to still be an All-Star again this year as well. But they're another team they're lacking. I mean, the NBA now, as we all know, is full super teams, and you got to have at least 2-3 superstars on the squad. And so, I mean, the Hornets, they really only have one. So, I mean, it's just going to be tough sledding for them all year long. And, I mean, it's just in one of those markets where it's going to be tough to attract a free agent as well in the offseason. So, I mean, they're in a tough spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
I like the roster, but I don't like them probably winning more than 35, 38 games this year.
No, I agree. And I think Michael Jordan has a plan in place. I don't know how it's going to play out, but for them, on paper, they've got some good guys. You can see they're still rebuilding. Right. But they're still missing, like you said, one or two guys that'll be able to turn this program around. So that being said, we do have the Orlando Magic, and they have had no changes, and they needed to make some changes because they were battling for the bottom of the division, as I would like to say. But they still have Aaron Gordon, Aaron. They do still have Vucevic. They brought in Maurice Speights, and they have John Simmons. They didn't lose anyone.
Aaron said, I think this past week, said he wants to be the best player in the NBA one day, which is, high aspirations. I mean, he was well touted coming out of Arizona, but hasn't really lived up to the hype as far as his game is concerned. So it's good that he has confidence in himself and in his game, and hopefully he can, take that next step and take his game to another level. But I mean, let's be honest here, they're gonna be fighting for the lottery when it's all said and done for this team here in Orlando. I mean, they still have Peyton running the point. Vucevic, who used to be the former Sixer, who they let get away. I mean, he's good for a double-double every now and again, but I mean, nobody on that team really scares me.
No. So all in all, now that we've gone through some of the roster changes, I know there are a lot of guys that moved that people like. I know I didn't realize all the movements that have happened. So that's why it helps to kind of break
it's like
this
a
down.
who's who.
Yeah, exactly.
Musical chairs is going on right now.
Pretty much. Because you're seeing across the league, this guy out, this guy in. They're switching for players for each other. Free agency players are moving around.
I mean, we had so many big names moved that these other lower level players, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I mean,
absolutely.
I'm gonna be doing the same thing. Like, okay, there he's on the squad now for this year. So I mean, you just don't know.
So looking back on the changes that we just saw before we go to another break, who of this change of these teams do you think is going to be the biggest help in the Southeast Division? Putting you on the spot here.
You are. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, because there's not really a whole lot of significant changes in this division. I mean, the arrow, I would say, on all these teams is pretty much pointing down, except for probably Charlotte.
Okay.
And Atlanta, because they're in the rebuild mode. So I mean, I'm kind of neutral on them in Orlando. But the arrow I think is pointing up on Charlotte and down on who's the first team we talked about? Not Miami. The Wizards. Sorry.
Oh, the Wizards.
The Wizards. I think the arrow's pointing down on the Wizards, up on Miami and up on Charlotte.
Okay. I could see that. I guess, yeah, sure.
But I mean, it's not, if you all those players you rattled off, like I said, it's a bunch of G League squad players. I mean, there's nobody that's really making significant impact. I mean, you could say Dwight Howard's the biggest name we know, but he's not really going to do too much for the Hornets except for kind of disrupt them. So
agreed.
Yeah,
I think this is like the shuffling of the role players.
Right.
Like we haven't seen any big moves like the Southwest Division, which we'll talk about tomorrow. We haven't seen a lot of big name MVP all-star caliber players that are being changed.
Right.
So we will go to a quick break. When we get back, we'll break down some more of this division to see any rookies or anybody that we think is going to step up and be a big name. So we'll be right back after this break.
Why travel to Philadelphia or Atlantic City for memorable and diverse dining? Experience the unique style and ambiance of Napa Valley Wine Country right here in the heart of South Jersey. At Terra Nova Restaurant, it's casual but sophisticated with contemporary American cuisine. Enjoy South Jersey's best sushi and raw bar, the freshest seafood, thick, delicious steaks, pastas, appetizers, and desserts. Our wine bar offers selections from virtually every major wine-producing region in the world. Choose from over 200 wines, with 50 available by the glass. Join us at Terra Nova for Wine Down Wednesdays with special half-price bottles of wine. Sit, sip, and enjoy. Our bar happy hour features sushi at half price. Every Friday night, it's live music and our pasta and wine Sundays. Spotlight 25 wines at $25. Terra Nova Restaurant has a wonderful Northern California decor with architectural touches exuding elegance and warmth. An excellent choice for private parties. Our rooms can accommodate 20 to 120 people. Choose the Napa Room, Sonoma Room, or the Monterey Room. Terra Nova Restaurant is perfect for friends to meet. And for added fun, enjoy our brand new wine and martini bar. Great food, great wine, great friends. It's Terra Nova Restaurant.
Apple Ridge is about freedom. Apple Ridge is about community. Apple Ridge is about home. Apple Ridge, everything you want, more than you expect. Welcome to your new neighborhood. Apple Ridge Senior Living. Enjoy a maintenance-free, affordable luxury lifestyle today. Visit appleridgeseniorliving.com and find out more about the Apple Ridge experience.
Hey everyone, my name is Adam Chrisman and I'm the host of a new show called The Adam Chrisman Show. Although I've been a veterinarian for almost 15 years now, our show is not just going to be about animals, including pets and wildlife and large animals and zoo animals. It's going to be about lifestyles and pop culture and working out and having a great time and just being a better person. So coming along, check me out this fall on RVN TV.
At Giorgio's, you'll find unique and exotic design.
That is spectacular.
Beautiful. Wow, that is gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
That's got to be from Giorgio's.
That's got to be from Giorgio's.
He only shops at Giorgio's.
Visit us today in the Freehold Raceway Mall.
Welcome back to the Sports Break here on RVNTV.tv. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and talking about the most exciting, or should I say most boring, division in NBA basketball is Jonathan Stroud.
You can't say it with a straight face.
I can't. We're kind of beating a dead horse here. But we have to give every division their time because there are some that are more exciting that we could talk about for hours. The Southeast Division is just not one of them.
No.
So we just broke down the teams, some of the roster changes that we've seen.
Right.
But one team you've been talking about is the Heat and how they're on the up and up.
Right.
So with Eric Spoelstra and everything you're seeing with the Heat, Deion Waiters, Haslam, these players, who else? I mean, do you still think they're going to be the top team in the division?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think they have the best pedigree. I mean, you have Eric Spoelstra, a championship coach. You have Pat Riley at the helm, the godfather of the NBA, who's kind of running things here. And I mean, they run a tight ship over there in Miami. And I think like injuries kind of took their toll on the squad last year. So that was the reason they kind of took a step back. But Hassan Whiteside, we know what he can do. Gordon Dragic, we've already mentioned what he can do out there. And like I said, Justice Winslow, I think is a really strong player, and he just got hit with the injury bug last year. And then you have Deion Waiters out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a scorer, and people are always kind of down on him, but there's one thing he can do. He can put the ball in the hole, and that's the name of the game.
Yeah,
so I mean,
exactly.
I just think that chemistry there is pretty strong with Miami, and I see them making a bounce back as far as the playoffs, and I also see them winning this division when it's all said and done. So.
Yeah.
That's my pick for this terrible division of the Southeast. I think the Wizards going to take a step back, and you have Miami going to take the crown.
All right.
Bosh is out of there. He had the whole settlement and everything, which is a shame. But had they had him in there as well, they could actually probably be a contender in these. So
that is true. Yeah, I think it is. This is the season we're going to see a different team step up out of the Southeast, and I do agree. If the Heat can stay healthy, it will be them. If not, it's the Wizards. But we do have one rookie in particular, Malik Monk.
Yeah, we forgot about Malik.
Yes, we kind of swept him under the rug a little bit, but playing with Charlotte, I mean, do you think he's going to be kind of that change that Michael Jordan's looking for down there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise that he slipped all the way to was it like the 12th or 10th pick for Charlotte? So, he was well touted coming out of Kentucky. There were reports that he was probably going to go in the top 5 of the draft. So I'm interested to see what he can do because, I mean, he was the best shooter coming out of the draft. So, I mean, anytime, and the NBA is all about shooting nowadays. So if you can add a good shooter to your team, I think he and Kemba Walker can be that nice 1-2 punch as far as a future backcourt. So, I mean, that's why I said Charlotte, they have some nice pieces in there. I like what Michael Jordan's doing now. People were always getting on him about his GM work and, him bringing in players. I think he's kind of gotten that a little bit together now. So, Nicholas Batum, another player who's like on that fringe all-star mode. So, Charlotte, don't sleep on them just yet. I think they're going to be okay. And then, rolling out with as far as the basement, Atlanta and Orlando. You can take your pick who's going to be the cellar dweller in this division.
Yes. So we did talk about Atlanta and Orlando struggling because if you look at their rosters, they just don't have the talent. And someone's got to be at the bottom.
Well, the good thing for them is that the NBA's lottery, the restructuring, is not going to happen until after this season. So they can tank and be as bad as they want and have the opportunity to get the number 1 pick this year. So that's the good news for Atlanta and Orlando because I think they will be battling out for those lottery balls.
Yeah, I think with Dennis Schroeder leading Atlanta, as we talked about earlier in the show, you just can't be successful with him. No knock on him. That's just not his characteristic.
Yeah,
he's not that type of player, period.
No.
And when you think about a franchise-leading player, like someone that can carry the team on their back, like Russell Westbrook does, like LeBron can do. I was trying not to say his name all show, but it happened.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't go to show out saying Brown.
Like Kevin Durant or Steph, like those types of players can do. And obviously that's a whole different class of players. In the Southeast Division, we're just not talking about those levels
Yeah,
players.
If Dennis Schrader gets Atlanta to the playoffs, I'll put a blonde streak in my head right here. So I don't think that's happening.
There it is. Well, there is more to come to talk about the NBA divisions, more exciting divisions. Sorry, fans of any teams in the Southeast. It's just not exciting. But when we come back tomorrow, we're actually going to get into the Southwest division. So we've got the Rockets and other exciting teams. Don't miss it. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We're here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9 a.m. I'm your host, Renee Washington. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.